What's good, everybody? It's your brother Mad Black, the most dangerous and the most toxic black man on the internet. The brother who told you to stop making these ignorant ass relationship podcasts, but you did it anyway, and now your ass is getting exposed as a fraud. And I am black up in your face again with some more pro black commentary. So, very recently, I was on social media and I saw that Abba and Preach had done a video about one of these black relationship gurus on social media. His name is David Coolie, and he's on a podcast called the No Fugazi Podcast. And, David Cooley is one of these Negroes who pretends that he's a high value man, and basically what he does on his show is he invites these women to come on and they have these fake ass debates about relationships. And, the women are usually not all that intelligent, so it's easy to catch them in a contradiction or to make them look even dumber, with whatever you're arguing against them, right? So a lot of these guys like to do that. It's the basic, the fresh and fit style of doing these types of podcasts. You get a bunch of idiot females on there, and you put you edit the video either in such a way to make them look stupid, or you're easily able to catch them in a contradiction. So, David Cooley does this all the time. He's said he's basically a high value man because he's 6'4" and he makes six figures, and he's a black man, so he automatically feels he is in that top percentage of men out there, right? He's actually said this, but he's also made lots of commentaries talking about how, men should not date single mothers, and single mothers are only for just having sex with, they're not for having a relationship with, right? And now, very recently, he's been exposed by several different content creators as a hypocrite, because David Cooley is one of these Negroes who talks a good game about not dating single mothers, but he is engaged to a single mother, and it's a single white woman. Of course it is. Of course it is. Just like Donovan Sharp, when he was talking all this mess about don't mess with single moms and don't do this and don't do that, but he wound up marrying a single mom who was also white. So, a lot of these black male content creators, they seem to have a pattern in the way they do things, right? They seem to have an MO in how they get down. They'll go online and talk to their blue in the face about not dating single mothers and single mothers are trash and all this other stuff. But when it comes to their own personal life, they have no problem being with a single mother, especially if she's a Becky, right? So, like I said, this guy, David Cooley, he's been exposed by a couple of content creators I've seen do stuff on him. So, O'Shea Duke Jackson, I can't remember what the brother's name is, but he actually made the single mom song that went viral last year. He exposed this guy. Abba and Preach have exposed this David Cooley guy, and also I seen D Chanel do 2 video reactions to him as well. So some major content creators have exposed this guy's buffoonery. And, I immediately wanted to do a video about him, but I was like, let me wait a second. I'll see what his response is, or if he even does a response. And he did do a response. And I decided to go give him the benefit of the doubt and go watch David Cooley's response. He says he fires back with receipts at Abba and Preach and O'Shea Duke Jackson. And I watched it, and it was a bunch of nonsense. It was a bunch of him basically not taking accountability. It's interesting it's interesting how so many of these red pill content creators, they always talk about, we got to hold women accountable. We got to make sure women accept accountability. But anytime they get caught in a lie or they get caught contradicting themselves or being a hypocrite, they never take accountability for anything. They just basically keep on going with their nonsense, and they try to just explain it away as it's not that big of a deal, right? So that's all he did in this video, is a bunch of word salad and gobbledygook, and, you know, explaining how he didn't say he was a high value man. Like, you might not have used those words in that sequence, but that's what you were saying in your viral video that you made, right? About you being 6'4" and making six figures and being a black man and whatnot, right? And then I guess he was trying to explain away the fact that he's with the white girl by saying that white people are the majority of the population. So it is almost inevitable that you would date outside your race. You know, he claims that he's dated black women before, so he doesn't hate black women. But here's the thing, Mr. Coolie. The fact that I can tell what you're doing in your with the way that you create your content. Okay, I can tell that while you might have dated black women, you have an issue with black women, right? And there's two things that showed this to me. It's one, like I said, the way he creates his content. It usually has black women on his podcast, and he's usually, you know, slam dunking on them and showing how contradictory they are, right? Or how dumb their logic is, or how they have a lack of logic, right? And, you know, he'll always talk about, you know, don't date single moms, and it's directed towards black women. You can almost tell just by some of the videos he's done, right? The other thing I've noticed is when he does videos with his fiance, the white girl with the Becky, he does this very cringy, coonish, and buffoonish interracial relationship content. You know, he's almost as bad as a lot of these black female divestors with the type of content he makes about being in an interracial relationship. If you go watch some of that content he does with his fiance, like I said, it's real cringy. It basically focuses on the fact that there's a white girl with a black man. And, you know, it's ridiculous that a man does this. Like, I've seen so many black females do this, and it's almost like, you know, I don't really pay it that much attention because it's so over the top, it's so ridiculous, and it's so expected of these types of women, right? But to see a man do that, it brings them down, no matter, you know, what their size is, no matter how big they are or how manly they look. It brings them down on the man scale that they would involve themselves in such nonsense. You know what I mean? The fact that you have a grown man out here doing cringy coon content on TikTok, that's the most unmanly thing you can do, right? And I mean that shouldn't be a surprise to me, because a lot of these types of black males who make this type of relationship content, they're not manly to begin with, right? They have no understanding what it truly means to be a man, and what it truly means, or what truly gives a man value. When they talk about being a high value man or a man of value, it's always some materialistic, something that's very, you know, just outward. It's never anything that has to do with the man and his integrity, or anything that truly represents the virtues of a man, right? That's how I know a lot of these content creators that do this type of relationship talk and podcast, either they didn't grow up with a father, or they just had no type of leadership ever in their life. So when they talk about manhood, what they're doing is they're taking away, they're just grasping at straws from other things that they've seen out there and have tried to cobble it together and make their own version of what they think manhood is. And you have so many young wayward males out there that will follow this because they also did not have a real father in their life. So they don't know, right? And they assume that these guys have the answers. And once again, I know a lot of people don't like me talking about this, but this is the legacy of Kevin Samuels. A lot of these F-boys that you see on social media with these podcasts and pretending to be relationship gurus and how their style of how they do their content is all the legacy of Kevin Samuels. And I can honestly say, based on what I'm seeing, it's not a good legacy. Kevin Samuels did not leave a good legacy out there. You know, I know a lot of you respect him. I know a lot of you love him. But based on what I'm seeing of the results of it, nothing good has come really from his legacy. And a lot of you think that he somehow helped black men or made black men better. Some of you even gone as far to say he saved the black community. I don't see how that's worked. In fact, he's made the black community worse. In my opinion, what Kevin Samuels did could be akin to you're seeing gasoline poured all over the place and you see a fire break out, and Kevin Samuels just came along and threw some dynamite on that fire, right? So instead of you didn't really help anything. He never stopped the fire. He only exacerbated it and made things 10 times worse, right? And you have a lot of males out here who have taken after him, who have continued that legacy and gone on social media and taken a lot of their baggage, a lot of their slave mindset and their coonery and buffoonery, and they put it on, they've monetized it, so they feel it's right because they've monetized it, and so many people follow them, and basically they keep spreading more and more nonsense and adding to the confusion out here. So there's a lot of men out there who have no idea what it is to be a man and what it means to be an upstanding man with principles and integrity. It's all about just making money and outward appearances, right? Just have the appearance of a man and say you're high value and not have any values whatsoever. So, you know, I'm not surprised by what happened with this David Coolie guy, the fact that he got exposed for being a hypocrite and basically being a coon, because if you're doing all this content that is negative against black women, but when you get with a white woman, you have no problem. All the problems seem to go out the window. Now it's okay to be with a single mom and to get her pregnant and to propose to her. You see what I'm saying? He had no problem getting with this white woman and being a father to her children and being and giving her more children, giving his seed to her, and now he's about to wife her up. You see what I'm saying? So for a lot of these guys, they talk about don't be with a single mom, but you have to understand that for most of them, their end goal is to be with a non-black woman, and especially to be with a white woman. If they can get a white woman, that's always going to supersede any of their rhetoric, any of the lessons that they claim to preach to their audience. You know, if a white woman comes along, if Becky comes along, they'll push all that stuff to the side and make sure they lock her down. That's their true goal of what makes them happy, you see. So, you know, I mean, you folks can let me know how you feel about this in the comments section. And, you know, for those of you who would be upset with me for what I said about Kevin Samuels, all you have to do is go look at any of these groups, any of these online groups or social media groups that tout the name of Kevin Samuels, and you will see in those groups, all they promote in these groups is getting with non-black women. Like they'll all cheer. You have men cheering and going berserk if a black man is with a white woman or just a non-black woman, period, or being a passport bro, whatever, and getting women overseas. So for a lot of people that would doubt what I have to say about Kevin Samuels, all you have to do is look at the results. That's all these guys care about, is being with non-black women. And anything else they talk about gets washed away or pushed to the side so that they can be with the non-black women, especially be with the white women. And David Coolie of No Fugazi is the ultimate version of that. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comments section. I'd love to hear what your opinion is on this subject. Anyway, this is Mad Black, and I will be back with my foot on the devil's back.